Nope. Can't say that either. That's got to be cut out. Nope. You can't. You can't say that. We can't say that.
Are you seeing this?
Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
And that's why you can't go into a post office singing, I got my dick in a box. It's my dick in a box. What's wrong, Spence? Spence held that in like a champ. He was just like...
Casey,
He's upset because he really did that.
That's how you get your picture put up on the wall.
Yeah. I'm sad that you just figured that out.
Post office wall of shame.
I learned that years ago the hard way.
Every time you walk in after that, they're like, I want to see that box above your waist, please.
No, they won't even let you in after that.
It's true. It's true. Well, guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast here. I'm Spence.
I'm Hunter.
I'm Casey.
And Casey, why don't you intro our guest?
It's Jason. We got Jason here in person.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast, Jason. At long last, in person, in the room with us.
Not via Skype.
In
That's
the
right.
flesh. Skype's overrated.
I think you were our first and only Skype interview.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so far you were the only person that ever joined the podcast from a remote location. I love that interview. I think it turned out great, but it's good to have you here in person, man.
You said interview like I was applying for a job.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Yes, here are my credentials.
You made the cut. Now you're on the Beacon House.
Yes, part of the family.
I'm glad to be here. Appreciate you inviting me, even though it took me, I know we've tried to plan this for at least 3-4 months or so.
There's 2 or 3 times where I was like, Jason's going to be here. You guys are excited. Let's do this. We show up and I'd be like, Jason couldn't make it.
See, here's the thing. I have commitment issues.
I won't tell Hannah.
I know.
Jason, do you have anything for us? You want
No,
to
not
kick
at all.
this thing off?
I
No
came
topic?
completely unprepared, to be honest with you. So
That's some of the best episodes start out that way. So we're on board 100%. Well, I tell you, I'll give you the same. I think I believe I saw on the socials that you guys went and saw
socials?
Captain Marvel.
We did go see Captain Marvel.
Let's talk
How
about
is it?
that.
We did.
I've not seen it.
Casey took me on a date.
Fucking rad.
We're seeing
Was it
this
really?
week.
Yes.
Because it's taking a lot of shit in the press right now.
I know.
It has. It's definitely unwarranted. It was incredible.
See, that's what our friend Ben Eller said too. I noticed also in the comments that he said, "Look, I went and saw it. It was great. It wasn't a man-hater movie. Like I don't know why everybody's so mad. Apparently, Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know what happened.
Well, I mean, it's because Brie Larson can't keep her mouth shut. I love
So
her
is
as
that-
an
did
actor,
she
but
go-
she's
What did
the
she
one.
say?
Did she go say some shit? Is that what happened?
Yeah, and I get where she was coming from too, but it's like we talk about it all the time where people weaponize two
Right.
separate sides of a thing. What she said makes sense, and I'm not going to paraphrase it because I'll get it wrong, but I
Right.
did look into it. It was a thing that had to do with men, but that doesn't
Like just give us a generalization.
Yeah, what did
of
she
it.
say?
something about like she looked at the demographics of the people that she was being interviewed by all the time, and she was like, I don't like this. I want to include women and I want to include persons of color instead of just a bunch of middle-aged white dudes.
Talking about people interviewing her for the movie?
Like for the press junket and stuff. And people got all up in arms, and I was like,
But that
I mean,
shouldn't
why
have
would-
any bearing on
the
someone's
movie.
review
Yeah,
of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. So people are going in like thinking that because she said that,
I can
whole
tell you
movie's
right
gonna be
now.
that way.
The movie is like a vehicle.
and I don't even
for-
think saying that's wrong. Like, why wouldn't you want all opinions?
I can tell you right now. I love Brie Larson from Kong Skull
Kong
Island.
Skull Island, yes.
And movies like The Room and stuff before that. However, her in this movie made me love her even more because she was badass.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
It was very good.
You think is Thanos
this-
in trouble?
Huh? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I
yeah.
can't wait.
And here's the thing: is like I love Black Panther, and I think this one is up there with it for
So
me.
I heard somebody
too.
say, I believe it was my cousin Felix, said that he thought this was the best origin story movie of
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do it in a really weird way because I don't know, all the other Marvel movies and DC for that matter, the origin story is basically just half the movie is just one huge flashback.
yeah.
This one was more. I don't want to give too much away, but it was definitely not that. Like they give her origin story, but they give it in a way that it entwines with current events or the
current
not
narrative.
present day. It's not technically present day because I think most of the movie happened in the 90s, right?
Yeah, and I don't think it gives
Or-
it. I don't think it gives it too much away by saying basically her origin story is like amnesia based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Sure.
it's like
Yeah.
you get bits and pieces as you go through the movie, and then by the end of it, you're like, Holy shit.
Kind of reminds
Similar
me of
to-
Memento when he's trying to like piece together everything.
Yeah.
The whole thing's backwards, except the movie's
Okay,
not backwards.
yeah.
But she's very much trying to piece together her past.
How
which
many
is-
times does she fall and get back up?
I don't know.
Well, that's kind of spoilery.
Okay,
if
don't
we
never
answer
mind.
that
Never
now.
mind. Never mind. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry,
no.
sorry.
Interesting. And so now, talk to me a little bit about Captain Marvel. I know that there have been characters called Captain Marvel on both sides. Like there's a DC, but it's just Shazam.
Okay, so
And then there's the Marvel, but these are two completely different things. And the Captain Marvel is one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel universe, correct? Kind of like Silver Surfer,
and
right?
technically in the DC universe, Shazam is one of the most powerful.
Yeah, Shazam can go toe to toe.
And
with
I've
Superman.
read the ancient like hierarchy of Captain Marvel, like back in the 20s, which started out as like a jungle adventurer.
Well, Captain Marvel used to be a different comic book company, and then it went under and it was bought by DC.
Charleston
Right.
Comics, I think.
Yeah.
Something, and it was
Something.
just
And
a
it was-
guy that like it was just like this strapping guy, like this handsome
Doc Savage-esque
Doc
type
Savage,
guy.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And it was bought by DC, but they didn't get the rights to the name Captain Marvel. Marvel did. And so DC got the character, and then Marvel got the rights to the name.
Right. Probably
And
because
so
they had a
it's like
copyright
this-
on the company name.
So
or
Captain
something.
Marvel exists in both Marvel and
Shazam
DC.
is Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
as
and
well.
he's been called that in the comics before, so I don't
But
know when the
now
rights
with
thing,
the
but now they
movies,
can't.
It's now they can't with the movies and stuff. So it's
Sure.
just Shazam.
So that's-
which, by the way, that's getting good reviews.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
people
it's
are saying
getting
That's
really
good.
good.
actually
roof
kind of
reviews.
surprising to me because the trailer, I don't see
Me
it.
neither.
I don't see it.
It
until-
looked like a
it's-
turd to me.
I think
was
it's supposed
like,
to be
ooh.
more of a PG style superhero
yeah,
movie.
I know it's supposed to be like happy because the guy's a kid. It's supposed to be very
But
funny
apparently
and
it's
playful.
also
but I
super
still,
dark. It's super dark from what I've heard because it's done by the guy that did Annabelle Creations and Lights Out.
The only thing dark about it to me was my expectations after seeing it.
Jesus.
Sorry.
I mean, I agree with you though because I didn't see it. I mean, I understand that it's the guy's a kid. What does he say? He's almost 15
Yeah,
in the trailer or
it's a
something like
14-year-old
that.
kid.
So I can get what they're kind of. They have to kind
I'm
of
a
downplay
fan
it.
of kid humor, dude. I love the
Yeah.
Goonies. I love like Big. I love
It's what
13
it's
going on
big
30.
if Tom Hanks turned
yeah,
into
yeah.
Superman.
This just didn't look like it was pulling
It
it
really
off.
just seems like he's a superhero just going around having fun, like going to the arcade and
But
playing
I think
around.
that's what
there was
people
no
like about it, though.
maybe, but I guess it is more personal taste. But to me, it just didn't. At least the trailer, just judging the trailer by itself,
Yeah.
does not seem interesting.
I have movie reviewer Stockholm Syndrome. Like when I haven't seen Aquaman yet, but that got really good reviews, and now Shazam is getting all these good reviews. I agree with you, except on the level that I still would want to see it because superheroes, and I don't
Yeah.
care. I want to see them, but I love how dark and stuff DC goes all the time. But I'm at a point now where I'm so sick of defending DC movies to people that I'm just like, I don't give a fuck what you do. Just if you're getting good reviews and
I feel
people
like
walk
you're-
out of the theater smiling, I'm happy.
You're hunkered down over this turd
Yeah.
and you're fanning it and you're like, I swear it doesn't smell bad, you guys. I
Right,
swear.
right.
There's flies coming off of it. You're just like you're into this like alternate reality. Like everybody's like, oh, that poor kid.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear that Deadshot is Will Smith played Deadshot in Suicide
Oh,
Squad?
fuck yeah.
He left. He's not doing the next one because of scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
They got Idris Elba to do Deadshot in the next Suicide Squad movie. So
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
He's gonna
it's
do.
gonna be good.
I'm like, fuck Marvel. I don't want to be Heimdall
James
anymore.
Gunn, the Guardians of the Galaxy guy, is writing and directing.
Writing
the
and
next
directing,
Suicide
yeah.
Squad. So
That's gonna be good.
DC just needs to start from the beginning and quit trying to jump forward and catch
I
up.
think their current game plan, from what I've gathered, is that they're not abandoning the universe that they set up, but they're not going to force it down people's throats anymore because they
Right.
have that Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie coming. Shazam is tangentially connected, and they'll probably connect it more if it booms as big as they think it will. So now they're doing like it's same universe, but we're just not going to talk about it. And then when people get on board with 5 or 6 characters at once, we'll do another Justice League kind of
man,
thing, which is
honestly-
smart. That's
and
what
I'm
Marvel
not
did.
I'm obviously not a fucking movie critic, and despite what you may have heard on this podcast, I'm not a Marvel fanboy. You know, just to me,
Bullshit.
it's just all fiction. I mean, I grew up reading a lot of Marvel comics, but I grew up reading DC comics too, and I grew up reading like what was the comic company where it was real edgy that had like.
There's Image, there's Valiant.
Image, Image was Spawn, right?
Right.
No, before that, there
Dark
was
Horse is Spawn.
there were a couple
No,
really
Image is Spawn.
weird, dark. Grendel, what was Grendel?
Ooh, Grendel is,
I think that's the
Dark
thing
Horse.
between your balls and your butthole.
It's like that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Dude, Grendel was one of my favorites, and it was super adult.
Have you ever
And
read
if-
any of the Grendel Batman crossovers?
No, but if you tried to
I'll loan
buy,
you some. They're
I
great.
can't picture this.
there were places that
conversation.
if you tried to buy Grendel before you were 18, they wouldn't sell it to you.
Yeah.
Like I actually was told you're not old enough to buy that comic. It was pretty serious, and it was real graphic. And
Probably had a bunch
real-
of boobies in it.
No, well, it did, but it also had a lot
little
of
bit.
like
Grendel's
gore.
mostly just like torture
was my favorite
porn
thing.
superhero stuff.
Serious
That was my
dark.
favorite thing as a kid is going to Books a Million, finding a manga that had nudity in it and no one knew it, and I'd buy it and be like,
Boobies.
I got boobies.
You just admitted that on this podcast.
I mean, I was fucking 13, 14 years old.
After the intro, now that
Probably
nobody's
still
gonna
have
like
them
it,
too,
yeah.
don't you?
Huh?
You still have them.
No, I gave them to McKay's probably.
Probably.
Did they
Video
take
game
those?
money.
Some other 13-year-old kid.
I didn't think they would take books
He knows
where the
exactly where
pages
they are.
stuck
They're out in
together.
his car right now.
Yeah.
He's waiting to get out there and take his pants off, drive home.
Yeah,
I
it's
hope,
black
I
bag.
hope that one makes you laugh upon
Speaking
editing.
of, you mentioned Joaquin Phoenix a minute ago.
Yeah.
Have you seen the pictures of him in a Joker?
Yeah.
his
I love
Joker
it.
I love it.
makeup? Really?
It's great. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it's very Joker-like. Like when you talk about, like,
Why not?
when you look at the playing cards and you see the Joker and they're like he's like a jester type thing.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it looks more clownish, and I think they're kind of blurring the lines between Joker and
This
being
is
like
also
a clown face.
This is also supposed to be his origin story, where he's still trying to like.
Be a comedian. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still
Oh, really?
like he's.
Mm-hmm.
I know nothing about this movie. All I know that Joaquin Phoenix is playing Joker.
So basically, the Joker origin story is that he's like this family man down on his luck, gets in with betting with the mob, loan sharks come after him and chase him into a
Factory.
like a toxic waste factory, and
Batman
he falls
fails
into
to save him.
Yeah, and Batman fails
yeah.
to save him. He falls in, and you know,
That
I
is,
think at one point he tries to become a superhero and puts like the red pill on his head.
yeah, the Red Hood thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Joker has, just like in the Dark Knight movie, he has multiple origins, but what Casey just said is the most accepted and streamlined version of any of
Right.
them together.
I could get behind a Joker origin story as long as it wasn't just total cheese. As long as it didn't just suck at
Well, it's
every.
Martin Scorsese doing it, isn't
Is
it?
it Scorsese?
Scorsese's producing it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which still, I mean, he
Todd
gets a
Phillips
say.
is directing, though, so that's good.
what's he done?
He's done, well, I almost said the Hangover movies, and I was like, well, the first one was good.
I liked all three of them.
Yeah, I did too, but he did those. He
I feel like
did,
if you ever
he
seen
did
a
War
movie you
Dogs.
I feel like every movie that comes out, Casey's like, I love it.
Yeah.
Have you ever not liked a movie?
Yeah.
Don't let him do this to you. I get the same criticism.
You go into a movie with no expectations.
Yeah.
Why
That's,
not?
Yeah, that's pretty
that's the thing. I watched the trailers realizing that somebody chopped up the whole movie and put a trailer out, and I'm not going to base my
And
opinion
it's
on that
usually
trailer.
not the people who make the movie that
Yeah.
are making
Yeah.
the trailers.
And I
Robert-
think that's healthy. That's healthy.
Also, I just love movies. I love them.
Sure.
Robert De Niro's in the movie.
But I can tell you right now, Happy Time Murder was a piece of shit.
I heard that. That's what
The movie 9 with the little sock puppet burlap sack
was
little
a piece of
minion
shit,
people,
too.
also a piece of
Never
shit.
saw that either.
Sock puppet burlap. So you talking about those Target commercials?
I tell you,
The pan thing?
No.
No. I know. 9 looked so
fucking like
good.
Lamb Chop, the puppet.
Yeah.
Fucking, I tell you, Mortal Engines was a piece of shit.
Also,
I could
both
tell that,
Thor
though.
1 and Thor 2 were terrible movies.
Which one?
Thor 1's great.
Thor 1
Thor
and Thor
1
2.
was good. Thor 2, I'll agree with you, was trash.
I don't.
Thor 2,
I haven't
not
even
good.
seen Ragnarok.
Iron Man 2 and 3, not good.
Okay,
Thought
so
Ragnarok
here's Ragnarok.
Great.
Yeah, Ragnarok.
I thought.
Caveat:
Still haven't seen
Ragnarok is great, and Alicia, I know you listen. I agree with you. It is great. Don't come after me. I have problems with how funny it is, and because it is funny as hell.
Like it's
but
legit.
It
like,
doesn't,
oh man, charmingly funny.
Yeah,
just like
and it
Infinity
works.
War. Like
Really?
that.
Because it's the
99%
Flight
of
of
the
the
movie.
Concorde guy is the one
Right.
that directed it.
and it's 99% of the movie. But the 1% where I had an issue was I can't remember the second one, but there are two instances where a dramatic thing happens that carries some weight for Thor into the future, and within 5 seconds, it's undercut by another joke.
I get it.
And I was like, at that point, I was like, stop it, let it rest, let it marinate a little
And
bit.
I guess that's how you would feel if you actually care a lot of about Thor. Or
And I do,
and I
unfortunately.
don't. I don't.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I really
to me,
need to-
it just every one of those jokes, I was like, ding, hey, another bite of macaroni. and
But that's
cheese.
my biggest beef
Yeah.
with Marvel, because I don't hate. You guys give me shit all the time for hating on Marvel. I love the movies.
I don't give you
always
shit.
I'm sorry, I'm talking to the audience, like the people we know that listen. But I love the Marvel movies. I really do. But that is specifically
And
the
I
thing
don't
where
think
they go, they know that people don't care. So they're like, for the fans like us, here's this thing. And you'll go, oh, I remember reading about that. So it makes you feel good. And
like
then
an
you
Easter
laugh
egg.
your way. Yeah, you laugh your way through the movie so much that whatever flaws it might have, you don't remember, which is smart. And I love the tactics of that. But I do not think that it excuses how mediocre and vanilla the movies are.
I'll tell you, I can see why a real hardcore comic fan like you
Yeah.
would have a problem with a lot of the Marvel stuff. And
I
really,
still love them, though. Like,
and
don't get that
still
wrong.
be really, really faithful to the DC stuff. I can totally see how that would happen. That's not me. Like, and I don't think the Marvel stuff is
Yeah,
perfect.
because you quit reading like 50 years ago, right?
Yeah, like 65 years ago.
Come on. He's only 35.
I love you, Spencer.
You're a dick.
I'm a dick.
You are a dick.
Yeah, he's talking to you.
Out of context, but true. Anyway, no, what I'm saying is like the way that I decide if I like one of those movies or not is like if I'm watching it and like I don't hate it and I don't want to turn it off. Like if I continue to be entertained.
That's all it has to do. That's totally fair.
That's what, and I'm not saying I get that at all the Marvel movies. Like a lot of them I didn't bother to see, like Iron Man 86 or whatever. You know, like I thought Infinity War was the best comic book movie ever. But
oh man, go see Captain Marvel because that post-credit scene.
Well, I know
we're probably going to see it tomorrow.
Credit scene.
Yeah, I know there's a big thing like
ties it all together.
I've heard that, and again, spoilers, but I heard she like brings everybody back to life and starts it back over and sets up the new Infinity.
Here's
War.
a very very specific short.
I don't know. That sounds like a
but
theory.
let's real quick. Let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I'll be done. I'll just a second. Like my problem with like some of the DC stuff is that, and I will say that equally as good, maybe better, or definitely in the conversation, the best comic book movie of all time, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Hands down.
It
just slayed. It just kicked ass every frame. It was perfectly poised. It just did its thing. And like, I get it. And it didn't matter to me if it was Marvel or DC. I'm watching the thing and I was entertained by it. You know, that just hasn't, a DC movie hasn't done that for me in a really long time. Except Wonder Woman. I was totally on board with Wonder Woman.
Dude, the No Man's Land scene every time makes me cry.
Blown away by Wonder Woman and how good it was.
Yeah.
But again, like just Suicide Squad, and they just didn't do it for me. But I can see why all the fanfare over the Marvel stuff that's maybe not necessarily doing a lot to the comic book storyline, I can see why people would be like, this is just, popular trash.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And I think, because I know, I guess it's like the general consensus, the general opinion of the public is that the Marvel movies are doing leaps and bounds better than DC right now, which is pretty much a fact.
If you look at box office, it's true. Yeah.
Exactly. But do you think the hate that DC is getting is solely because people are comparing it to Marvel? Like if the Marvel movies didn't exist, and then we got the same DC movies, would people still hate them as much as they do?
No.
That's a great question.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Because people literally, they'll see Suicide Squad and compare it to Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's like they're not even close to being the same movie. But people are like, but look at Guardians. That's like a duo. That's like a team up that should happen. It's
Marvel has set that bar, and so everything DC basically has to play catch up. And so whatever DC comes out with, they're gonna be like, well, it wasn't good as this Marvel movie, or it wasn't good as that Marvel movie.
Yeah, and I hope I'm not looking at them like that. I really do. I really, because I tried to watch like Batman versus Superman. I didn't watch it.
That's a really long and convoluted movie. As much as I defend it, like I'm not going to bash anybody that hates it.
I wasn't
really
thinking of anything. I wasn't thinking like, I just saw Ragnarok last week. I mean, I was literally just trying to because I was a huge fan of like a lot of the Superman stories that have been told in the past. I was a huge fan of the original Superman movies with Christopher Reeve. Like I grew up watching that shit. It was iconic to me.
Yeah.
Godlike even. And also I was a huge fan of like Lois and Clark, the TV series, which was the kind of the series before
with Dean Cain. Yeah.
And who now shows up in Supergirl a lot. And I'm a big fan of the Supergirl show, as cheesy as it is. And like it's got lots of stuff wrong with it, but I love it. It just feels good to watch. It's a great show. I'm a big fan of a lot of DC-centric things. It's just some of those movies I try to watch them, and hopefully I'm not thinking. But I do think you're right. I think a lot of people are probably looking at the Marvel movie that just slayed at the box office, and they're going, "Well, is this going to live up?" And I don't think that's fair.
No.
But I am also bringing my own baggage to that, which is what
because I hate when
saying.
people do that with bands when they go, "Oh, this band put out an album. Well, it's not as good as the last U2 album." No shit. Like
if we can talk about Marvel, Captain America: Civil War, real quick. Everyone loves that movie.
Not me.
I love that movie.
I'm not that crazy.
But I had a huge problem with the conflict and where it came from, and cinematically it made sense. So again, good props to Marvel. They're smart people running Marvel. But having read the comic book, and again, this is where I'm bringing my own baggage to it. In the movie, it's the Accords or whatever, and they disagree about registering for that reason. In the comic, there's a group of adolescent superheroes that are trying to make it big with a reality TV show, so they intentionally get in some kind of conflict with another super-powered human being, and the result of it is like a nuclear blast going off in the playground of a school, and a bunch of kids die. And as a result of that,
you can't do that in a movie.
Too dark for Marvel.
Well, I know, but that's the thing.
That's more of a DC
thing. That's a much better reason for these heroes to be hunkering down and willing to kill each other over
right
what's going down than we busted up a city because our friend turns green and fought an alien.
That hits you in the feels more, but the way that Marvel's aiming their movies now, that's way too dark.
But that's the problem I have.
And that's where I think I like DC movies better than Marvel. DC will eventually get there over time, but DC will always be darker and more aimed for people like us.
Sure.
Whereas Marvel movies are more aimed for your average,
Well, like when I was watching
middle
The
school,
Dark
high
Knight,
schooler, like kids.
watching The Dark Knight, I felt like I was watching something like The Departed or something. I mean, it was like super like.
The Dark Knight is heat with Batman in it.
Yeah, totally. It was totally scary at times, and I was like, dude, this is massively entertaining. And the fact that it was a comic book movie was almost just like an Easter egg.
Yeah.
To this phenomenal thing you were seeing. It kind of didn't matter that it was like a Batman movie. It was just the craziest movie, you know?
And I will say with that comment about Marvel being a kids movie or Marvel movies being kids movies, I still enjoy them. Which, by the way, speaking of that, we saw a trailer for Frozen 2.
That looks so good.
In the theaters for Captain Marvel, and I looked at Jason.
Casey giggled.
I was like, as a grown man, I'm fucking so excited for Frozen
giggled.
2.
Let's hear about this a little bit. Yeah.
No, it's just during the trailer. He looked at me like, it says coming in whatever date it says.
Yeah.
He looked at me and he goes, I can't wait for that. And
then
he goes,
I could, yeah. I can't. I love the first one. The second one looks even better. I'm so excited.
I hate the first
I
one
love
with a
you
passion.
making that noise. I love it.
But that preview won me over instantly. Like, I'm so excited for Frozen 2 now.
Yeah. Dude, I'm totally on board with Frozen just because it's Kristen Bell.
Of course.
I'm coming up. God, the Veronica Mars.
Veronica Mars,
the new
is a nice
series.
queen. Ooh.
They're getting a new series?
Yep. It's going to be on Hulu. They're shooting it right now, and it's got the whole original cast to sign on.
Is it being remade or?
No. It's going to be a new season.
Oh,
it's the new
I
actual
hope they
season.
put the old season up there so I can.
But they're going to put all the seasons up, and then the new season's going to launch.
Okay.
So maybe that's this summer or something like that. I don't know.
I'm just waiting for Disney to keep pulling all the Marvel stuff off of Netflix.
Yep.
Because that's happening.
Which, by the way, we started watching. So Jason came up to town, hung out with me at my place.
Yep.
And we started watching Umbrella Academy.
I've heard good
I got
things.
about 3 episodes in,
Yeah.
and it just lost me.
Yeah.
I was unimpressed with the first season, but people say
First
to keep
episode?
going. Yeah, first episode. But
Yeah.
I think
I love the
was
comic
your brother
book,
that said
so-
keep going because
Yeah.
it was
Oh,
better.
It's
Yeah, my brother was
Gerard.
all
Like,
about
Gerard Way.
I wanted to love it so bad because I love everything he's done.
And Gabrielle Ba. That dude can draw his ass
Yeah,
off.
no, I was like, oh my god, I didn't even know. Like, I know, like, I don't know, like, I have a love-hate relationship with Ellen Page. You know, like, I was the biggest fan of Juno, like, ever. And then, like, now she goes on TV and I don't know, she gets a little mouthy, but whatever. And I don't mean that bad way.
Jesus.
No, I'm just
That's
saying.
really weird coming. I don't know. That sounded weird.
We can smell our own.
Oh,
Yeah, I get a little mouthy too, but I mean, she's just super like, I don't know. She irritates me now, but she's a very talented actress, and there's a bunch of other good people in it, and like, but the biggest reason I wanted to love it was because of Gerard Way, and didn't he write the original?
yeah, he
comic?
writes the comics.
Incredible.
It's still going on. They
Yeah.
do like miniseries instead of a.
So I got in, and it just
Ongoing thing.
I don't know. I think I was just in the mood for something else.
I haven't tried it yet though. So
I did, however, I wanted to watch the whole movie. The Strangers Pray at Night is now on Amazon Prime
ooh,
for free.
yay.
Is it really?
Yeah, and
Let's watch it
I showed
again.
Jason. I was
pool
like,
scene?
I just showed him the pool scene, and I was
Oh,
like,
what'd you
this is
think?
probably
It
the
was nuts.
I loved it. I loved
Crazy.
it.
with the music and the
So good. So
and then I
good.
showed him the Liv Tyler scene where she's like drinking water and fucking
Have you not
Baghead
seen those
comes-
movies?
No.
He doesn't get to watch horror movies.
Why?
I'm just not a huge fan.
Dude, 2 horror movies that weren't supposed to be very good that kind of came out of nowhere that absolutely delighted the shit out of me in the last year were that one and Hellfest. I
I still haven't seen
I was so
Hellfest.
blown away at how good it was. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, I was so thrilled.
Dude, Strangers Pray at Night is not technically a good movie, but it's so fun. Like it's your cheesy campy.
It's one of my
80s
favorite kill scenes.
slasher.
That pool scene is probably my favorite kill scene ever.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. There was a couple in Lost Boys that rival it, but dude, that was amazing.
You know, I haven't seen
Wait a
Lost
second.
Boys in years.
Because
Great movie.
in the clip that you showed me, the dude in the pool, it cut the scene before we figured out, did he die? Or did he,
You'll have to watch the
You have
movie
to
to
watch
find
it.
out.
I'm not gonna.
You'll have to watch the movie
He
to find
doesn't.
out.
Yeah,
That's- I'm not gonna watch it.
Not
that
gonna-
girl that pulls
not
him out
gonna
is
do
his
it.
sister.
Do we want to talk about the Jaguar thing? Because that
Dude,
just happened.
Talk about
Wait,
that.
what Jaguar thing happened?
Yes, yes.
So it's basically another Harambe situation. A lady
no.
jumped a fence to get a picture of some animals. These animals happen to be jaguars. She got mauled by the jaguar. And this was just this morning. So no, they don't. I mean,
Sounds like advanced Darwinism to me, Hunter.
I'm going to
See?
agree with you. You know
mean-
what? If you go through the effort of jumping over the fence I don't want anyone to die ever, but you fucking deserve what comes at you too.
And the
Okay?
worst part is it hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure they're gonna the Jaguar's probably gonna get killed just because that's what people do. They're like, oh, justice, whatever. They're gonna Harambe that.
You know
Jaguar.
what justice is? Justice is the person walking around the rest of their lives with a mangled body because they climbed a fence to go hug a fucking leopard. Okay?
Yeah, I'm right.
I just don't see how anybody justifies the logic of if an animal was in captivity, safely tucked away from people, and I don't know this sounds insensitive, but I'll go ahead and say it. Some idiot climbs over the fence, and then something happens to them. I just don't understand the train of logic that says, well, we need to put a bullet in that animal.
I don't feel sorry for that person at all.
I mean, I do because I've got, a weak heart or whatever.
If anything, they should start killing
but-
off that person's family so they don't procreate.
Well, apparently the girl survived.
I'm kidding.
Okay, so that's
It
good.
looks like she's going to survive, is what they say on here.
Well,
That's good, but
something will still happen to that
the Jaguar
Jaguar.
should not be punished for it.
Hold on. At 11:32 p.m. on March 9th, 2019, the Wildlife World Zoo Aquarium and Safari Park in Arizona, where that happened, tweeted out, "We can promise you nothing will happen to our Jaguar. She's a wild animal, and there were proper barriers in place to keep our guests safe. Not a wild animal's fault when barriers are crossed.
Good on them.
Still sending prayers to her and her family."
That's good on
That
them.
is
Basically,
a
that's
perfect
a
tweet.
tactic.
It's like those parking lot
That
signs,
is the
not
perfect
responsible for
response.
lost or stolen property. That's the equivalent of that tweet, and that's good. I mean, they're not at fault. This is 100% on this lady that
that's
crossed
true.
the fence.
And men,
Ending with
props
the
to
thoughts
the
and prayers too, like what you said, the whole like we're sorry, we feel bad that she's hurt, but our Jaguar did nothing wrong too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is a perfect response.
And I think it's worth saying this easily could have been avoided by just not jumping into the pit with the Jaguar.
Yeah.
Like, guess what?
Well, apparently she jumped over a barrier. There was still a fence in the way.
Yeah.
But when she turned around to take a selfie, first of all, I don't know if you guys watch these videos. I watch these videos all the time.
They come
where
right
this
through the
guy-
fence. They reach right through the fence.
Well, but there's a guy who is like a wild cat dude. Like he has a wildcat sanctuary, and he always takes these videos of turned around, and he's like talking to people, and a jaguar or like some tiger will come sneaking up. They wait for you to turn your back.
That's how they hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he'll turn around right before they attack, and they'll hug him, and they'll lick him, and he'll pet him and stuff. But it's like, that's how, like you turn your back to him taking a selfie. First of all, how did you not see it coming? Like you have a camera that shows what's behind you.
I mean, you know.
But this thing reached through and it like grabbed her by the arms and like attached its claws, and that's what witnesses said. That
I mean,
was,
if you've heard
There's a
people say
video
this,
of it on Twitter.
I kind of
people say like, I mean, man,
I want to watch it.
You
It's
get
like watching a
like-
car wreck.
Yeah.
dude, you play dumb games, you get dumb prizes. Like we hear that a lot lately. But it's more true
Like
now
our
than
live
ever.
raffle. Sorry, Stan, for those flamingos.
Hey, those flamingos were special.
Wait, hold on.
Hey,
Y'all gave out
Stan,
flamingos?
Stan
Yeah,
crossed
flamingos.
the barrier and walked through the fence. He deserved what he got.
That's right. He walked right up to our table of wild animals.
So wait, somebody got mauled by a flamingo at your live show? Is
Yeah.
that
Well,
Yep.
maybe after he left the show with the flamingos. We're not sure what happened, but
Yeah, Stam, stop treating the flamingos like body pillows.
That's
okay,
right. That's right.
You're only going to hurt yourself.
no, I think that too. Man, there used to be a video of this guy. They were like on a safari where you're not supposed to get out of the car, and there's like lions
about
and
to
stuff
mention this,
everywhere.
yeah.
And this photographer kept jumping out of the car and like going up like real close, like taking pictures, and like eventually like the lions just mauled him and they killed him. And then at the end of the video, you see the lion running off with a camera in its mouth. And to me, I was like, man, it's sad that somebody died, but that's kind of poetic.
Yeah.
To the point of, you know what I mean? Like just, I don't know.
The video, which was almost the same thing, it broke my heart though, because again, you shouldn't be getting out of the car, but person gets out of the car and immediately a lion or leopard or whatever it was grabbed them and dragged them off into the woods.
Yeah.
That's scary. I feel bad for that person and then their family, but their fucking mom or significant other, was hard to tell from the video, panicked and they got out and chased after them. That person's also going to be dead now.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was awful. But like, that's also programming at that point. Like, you're going to go try to save your person. So
That's true. That's true.
stay in the fucking car.
Did you know that you can find a video of one of these drive around safari parks, like cat sanctuaries, and this lady gets out with her kid.
Yeah.
And they park and they go over and like look at the cheetahs, and the cheetahs are just standing there like watching them, like, ooh, cool, neat. And the ladies get back in their car. It's like a group of 4 people. They get back in the car and they drive up, and there's these people filming behind them watch as the cheetahs follow the car. And they're like, the cheetahs are like, ooh, these people are dumb.
Yep.
They get out of the car again and walk up this hill, and they're at the top of the hill, like taking pictures of the sunset and things like that. and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all the cheetahs surround them in a circle and start like going after them. And half the people get away, except they circle and like pinpoint the mom and the small child, like the 3-year-old. And it's like they're like lunging and swiping, and she's like trying to kick, and she finally gets to the car. And then, like, the people drive by, and they're just like, oh, I can't believe that happened. Like, this place is so unsafe. And it's like, stay in your fucking car.
Yeah, like, these animals are not domesticated.
Yeah.
Like,
they're not your friend.
Even the ones at the zoo, they may be in captivity, but they are still wild animals.
Yeah, man, that's not a house cat. Like, people go, like, and Casey, no offense, but people go, oh, look, it's just like a big house cat. Nope. No, it's not. Not at all. Not anything like a domestic cat.
Why'd you say no offense to me? When have I?
Because you're always talking about wanting to pet the tigers. You're this person.
I do want to pet the tigers, but I want to pet the tigers in a safe situation where there's
Describe to me.
There's no safe situation.
You fucking cupcake. Describe to me right now a safe situation
unless
where
you
it's okay
are
to pet a tiger.
Unless you are a baby tiger, you cannot.
That's right.
Be safe.
Or unless the tiger is literally just barely bigger than a zygote.
Put it this way: I'm not going to jump over barriers. I would go to the zookeepers and be like, "Hey, take me in behind the scenes and show me like what I can and can't do."
Keep explaining what's a safe environment to pet a tiger in.
I hear that Martian tigers are domesticated.
One where it's tranked by the zookeeper and it's asleep.
Casey wants to go. I want to pet a nearly dead tiger. You know?
Hey, can you roofie the tiger so it doesn't remember me when I come back through?
Yeah.
I just want to touch it.
Oh my God. Dude, well, what about the flip side of this? What about that guy that was hiking and got attacked by a mountain lion and fucking killed it?
I feel bad for the mountain lion.
I kind of do too, but I mean...
because he strangled it to death.
Yeah, but it literally attacked a guy.
I didn't hear the story. What
Yeah, there was a guy hiking. This is a couple weeks old.
California.
This guy was hiking just like normal trails, and like a mountain lion came down, and he kind of tried to avoid it, and it got after him, and I think it drug him down the side of a mountain or whatever like that. But the guy had some experience like grappling and whatnot, and the thing started biting him, and he knew that it was at this point life or death, and he managed to somehow like get it in a chokehold, and he strangled it.
That's awesome.
He got out of it. What?
I don't feel bad for him or the lion. That's someone out in nature, which is by the nature of the statement, our natural state of being. And so if you wind up having to fight something, just whoever wins. That's fine. That's a natural law.
That's your natural instincts kicking in. Just fight for your life. I feel like that's going to be a movie in a couple of years.
Dude, I totally do too. I totally do. Oh, and it's so easy to forget how like we
Grizzly
feel
Man 2, the mountain lion.
we feel so far removed from a situation where you might have to fight something or somebody for your life. But I mean, we're animals too. Like there's a point you could be taking the trash out at night and some guy could jump you. You know, there might be a point at somewhere where you have to go, well, it's going to be me or him. And it might be a mountain lion. It might be some creepy dude in the old city or, whatever. But
give me $1.
Fight or flight.
Fight or flight.
Which there's actually more than that. It's not just fight or flight are like the most common too, but there's also like freeze, where it's just like you're in that same situation and you just absolutely don't know what to do, so you just like deer in headlights. Yeah, that's another one. And there's a fourth. There's like 7 of them, but I know just fight or flight are like the 2 most common ones. So that's like that's where the term comes from.
I do 2 of those. I've had a few encounters where luckily I didn't have to fight something where I thought I was in danger though, like legitimate danger.
For you, fight or fart. You fight or fart. Freeze
I do
fart.
fart for sure. But no, I freeze for a minute, get my bearings, and as soon as I feel like I have them, I grab whatever I can use as a weapon and then go inspect.
For you, fight or fuck. That's what you do. You're like a guy jumps out.
No, I fart and fuck.
And you go, look, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but it's going to be aggressive.
God, Mom, you listen to this. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
You're like, we're going to grapple, and if I start kissing you, then it's going to take that.
That needs to be the name of it.
If I kiss your neck while we're fighting.
Actually,
I'm not 19, Spencer.
That would be a great deterrent if someone jumps you and you're like wrestling with each other and then you start kissing them.
Yeah. If you had the ability,
that would end it immediately.
As an attacker, they would be so caught off guard to the point where like, all right, dude, you win.
You give him the shocker.
Well, no. They just attack you and then you start kissing them on the neck and stuff. And they're like, ooh, what are you doing? And it's just like, what? I thought this was,
like,
was this not?
This is happening, right?
This not the thing. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My bad. Man, you really, you play rough. Wink. And then just watch them leave.
God.
I think that's the only time Family Guy would work in real life.
Who calls the cops in that point? Like you or the attacker?
I don't know.
Well, in our society now, the attacker would call.
Ways.
Yeah. No. The attacker would file a sexual harassment suit against you. You guys have seen Liar, Liar,
and then you
right?
get sued by Gillette and all this stuff.
The thief that fell through that chick's roof and landed on a knife and sued her for $10,000.
Why do you remember that in Liar, Liar?
Because it's great. No, it was like $5,000. Is that justice, Mr. Reed? No, I'd have got him 10. It's so good. It's so good.
God. Wow.
The goddamn pen is blue.
Hey, Goose.
Dude, speaking of Gillette, I haven't seen this, but you can fact check this. Of a guy that I work with goes, "Hey man," and apparently he listened to the podcast. I heard us talking about that Gillette commercial. Apparently Gillette fucking ate shit over that commercial. Bad, like sales tank. Like no, I mean you couldn't keep the stuff. Like
No one was buying Gillette anyways. That over expensive trash.
maybe, but apparently something happened. That commercial aired. It got a ton of attention, and something changed. Over the 5% of people that still were buying Gillette just stopped.
Well, Joe Rogan had the CEO on for Gillette, and
Did he really?
He smoked weed, and their stock.
Shut up.
Your words are the value of farts.
Can't
That's all I have.
Nothing vapor came out of
Gassing up this podcast.
You just gassed up. No, but supposedly something happened, and now apparently they've put out a new commercial, and the new Gillette commercial is like way more like it's pro man kind of a thing. I haven't seen it.
If they want to win everybody over, they should have the same masculine dudes they always do. Do the best a man can get, and like show one dude with another dude and one dude with a chick, and just be done.
Doesn't Gillette make women's razors though?
Yeah, a huge part of their market of the Gillette Women's Series.
Here's a Gillette commercial they need to make. Is where it shows a man using a pink Gillette razor and a woman using a non-pink Gillette razor. That's it. It's like you don't need to make them a different color for women. You can make it all Gillette razors for everybody. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do like boys will be boys.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe just talk about, hey, our razors shave well, not who's using them. I think that's where they screw up. As they go, this is good for men. Well, what about women? Well, it's good for women. Well, what about transgenders? This is good for transgenders. What about straight people? This is good for straight people. What about gay people? It's good for, you know what I mean? At some point, somebody's going to go, I'm not being included in that advertisement. I think the idea would just be to go, hey, you need a good razor? We got good razors. Here's why they're good.
Do you have hair?
Yeah.
Just leave it at that.
I think that's why
Good
that's why
for anyone
Dollar Shave
with
Club,
hair.
Yeah.
Dollar Shave Club and Harry's does well. Is just because they just go, need a shave? We got you covered. And that's all they say.
Kind of. I don't know. I don't know. But supposedly Gillette's on the rebound now with like some. I don't know.
I don't care.
Oh shoot! I went into Casey's. I'm staying at Casey's house, and you want to talk about beard envy? I don't shave. I have a baby face. Everybody knows that. Every single room of Casey's apartment, there's like beard stuff just everywhere.
Yeah.
Beard combs, beard brushes, beard shampoo, beard oil, whatever the fuck that does. I don't know what any of this stuff is. And I think your roommate has a beard too, doesn't he?
You and your roommate both have great beards.
No,
It's ridiculous.
He has the crazy cool mustache.
That counts.
Whatever
That's
it
part
is.
of the beard.
It's just like I thought I was in another country.
I don't see it. That's what I agree. I don't understand all that
So
beard
basically,
products
you
either.
said every room in our house, but our house is more than just 2 bathrooms. So,
Are you only keeping him in the 2 bathrooms?
yeah, I put his air mattress in the downstairs
You know,
bathroom.
Spencer will let you shit in his sink.
Well, I know where I'm staying next time.
That was awesome.
I feel so good about that.
Never
one.
happened. Never. That said, for a friend, I probably would.
Which, by the way, I got to know, am I a decent host?
Yeah.
Did I set you up?
Absolutely.
I was completely in my own head because I had an
Thinking
air mattress.
you would not be hospitable.
Yeah, I'm thinking like I was
It's
going to like
You could definitely tell that you work at a hotel because like the air mattress was like all like tucked in and had the pillows like covers and everything like that. Fridge was stocked full of beer, Guinness by the way, which blew my mind about the canned Guinness. I didn't even know that they had the little nitrogen balls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He got the good stuff.
yeah.
Damn.
You can
10
tell
out
us
of
the
10 on
truth.
the air.
Proud of
Scott
you,
Beard.
Casey.
You get actually I take that back -0.5 point for all the beard stuff because you know I have a baby face and I'm shy about it.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the
Why
mic's
are
gonna
you
pick that up.
scratching your crotch in front of the microphone, Casey?
I thought you were in trouble. You seemed in danger and you wanted to
Fight or flight.
Casey drops trowel.
Oh, God, man.
Okay, well, we're going to cut that out.
This took a turn.
What, fart and fuck?
So
No,
anyways,
that's the name of the podcast.
should we... Please don't call this episode fart.
Fart and fuck.
Well, you
has
can't.
to be.
It would have to be fart
Nobody
and
would
then
want
F
listen to this.
asterisk
Nobody.
CK.
Nobody would listen to it. I need people to listen to it.
Oh, well, we have over 300 people on Instagram now, right? Is that correct?
I think so, yeah. We finally hit 300 on Instagram.
Yeah, everything's going steady since we had Vari on, or did I use the wrong name?
No, that's right. Vari TV.
Okay, that was
Vari TV.
the username. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, she was a big help. Shout out and thank you again.
Highly.
Moving on up.
We got to, we went from 40 to 140 YouTube subscribers and got our own URL.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
when we hit 200, YouTube is apparently going to send us like paper plate plaque with the play symbol on it. That's how they commemorate. It's like the bronze.
For hitting
plaque or
200
whatever.
subscribers, you get one of those?
I'll send it
Yeah,
on
but it's like it's drawn with Sharpie.
it's a used napkin that it comes in.
It's not a used napkin.
Sanitary napkin.
Yeah.
They do those diamond or platinum ones for like people that reach 1 million, that type of
exactly.
thing. Yeah, if we get 200, they send us something.
That's
Now,
right. That's right.
since we're
I'm
talking
full of
about
shit, I'm
since
sorry.
we're talking about YouTube, have you Hunter, Spencer, you guys listen to the latest episodes of Party Chat?
I have not heard the new
I've
one.
not heard the newest one.
I'm off tomorrow though. That's my plan.
Yeah. Did you hear you heard the last one though, where Lincoln interrupted?
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. This new one we start off a little rough.
I feel like Lincoln is the unofficial mascot of the Party Chat podcast. He's probably the favorite cast member.
Yeah, he's only been in one episode.
I
but
would
he
not
was-
care if Lincoln was the mascot for all of Beacon
I would
House.
call him executive producer, in fact. But
I would love to put like a picture of
We'll have to
Lincoln
get him
in
on the
front of
show.
the banner. Just Photoshop Lincoln right in front of the banner.
Photoshop. Shoot, we can make it happen.
Look more intelligent than our current.
We'll put him in
lineup.
we'll put him in a scarf and Spencer's hipster glasses. That'd be
Oh
great.
God,
I'm not hip. I'm old. I'm not hipster.
the most hipster thing you've ever said.
I don't know.
I think at one point in the near future we need to have an episode of Party Chat where we don't talk about battle royale games, because I think in every single episode there's always a new one we have to talk about.
That is true.
I still have to get my home set up complete, but I'm itching to jump on there and talk games
Hunter
with you guys.
finally he has like a microphone, or I guess his wife Libby has a microphone and like a whole computer set up, and I've been trying to get him on as a third
Yeah.
guest spot for a Party
We have
Chat
all the
episode.
gear. We just haven't.
I
Sat
mean,
down and
Spencer, we can
connected
pull
it
out
all.
an Atari for you if you want. Like a
I would
pinball
love
machine.
that. I was really good at the game Yar's Revenge and Breakout, and
I thought you stopped when Pong had 2-player.
I stopped when ET came out because everybody stopped when ET came out.
We'll have to
That's
record
a
that
movie,
podcast
Spencer.
using a record player.
Yeah.
By the way, our good friend EJ told me that Party Chat needs to do a retro episode at some point, because we talk about all the new
Indeed.
games and he feels left out. He wants
Oh,
us to talk about
PlayStation
like
1.
Well, no, he wants us to talk about like Nintendo, like old school platformers and Mario and Castlevania and Metroid.
We can do
Damn.
that. Absolutely.
I grew up playing
Getting
GoldenEye, so
Ready Player One vibes.
Ooh yeah,
Goldeneye.
Which,
God.
by the way,
I love classic Mario. I played a lot of that.
did you guys ever watch Cartoon Network when Gundam Wing was on?
Yep.
did not.
It's on Hulu now.
I know.
All 50 episodes.
Oh, I know.
Not bad. Well, I'll tell you what. Before
okay?
I love Gundam.
he got really emotional.
He likes robots and dinosaur monsters.
Dude, I tell you what. Let's
Makes
get a
me
little
want to fart
bit.
and fuck.
Let's get a little bit of a.
I'm so sorry, Mom. Fuck.
He's not sorry. He's not. He's not sorry at all.
You guys are horrible influences.
Hunter's mom, he's not sorry at all. I'm sitting across from him, and I can see his eyes. He's not sorry. Jason, no, tell you what, man. Just being our guest today, why don't we talk a little more about you? Like, you've been friends with Casey for a super, super long time. How did you guys meet? Tell us,
Super long time?
give us your guys' origin story.
Almost as long as Spencer's been alive.
Well, I'm not sure how much
You can divulge it all.
personal.
No,
stuff.
that's fine.
Okay. Well, I think the
Just don't
way
give names.
the way we met was how his ex-girlfriend who.
Nope. Can't say that either. That's got to be cut out. Nope. You can't. You can't say that. We can't say that.
Are you seeing this? There's no way we can cut that out. Look at the reaction that got. Moving forward. So the ex.
Him, his ex,
His
me
ex.
and his ex used to work together.
Okay.
T-Mobile.
Yeah, at T-Mobile.
With our good friend Andy.
Yeah. Does
Got
he,
it.
Does he listen? If so, hey Andy, what's up?
Okay. So you and her and Andy all work together.
Yeah, and then just through multiple hangouts among that crew, me and him linked up, and we've been friends ever since. Really,
I gotcha.
We were both
kinda-
video gamers. And everybody
Yeah.
else was just like, video games? I mean, I played Mario.
it really got. It's pretty much how it started when I got my PS4, I believe. Yeah, that's when we had known of each other real acquaintances, I guess is what the word is.
sure. Yeah.
And then once we actually started, finding our, I guess the common quality of being in love with games, that's how our friendship actually grew.
It's awesome. Now, how long ago are we talking about? Was that 2013?
Let's see.
No.
It was
I
probably a little bit
12?
earlier than that, 11 or 12 maybe.
Yeah, 11 or 12. Because I
Okay.
moved back into town.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember
11 or 12.
when you moved back. Okay, I got
And we only had one car at the time, so I had to drop her off at work and go pick her up. And usually I would get there. She'd be like, "Oh, we close at 10. Show up at 10." I'd show up, and they're like, "We still have like an hour of cleaning to do. You can't just leave." And she's like, "Oh, okay."
Does she listen to this podcast?
I think so. That's
Is
why
that why we have to cut it out?
I think her and her brother both listen. So
Well, we don't have to use names. We don't have to use names. It's okay. Just like the guy in the puddle, we don't know who that was. No, okay, I got you. But now you also have a background in like audio engineering and that kind.
Yes.
Tell us how you came to that.
I actually went to UT first for music performance. I'm a percussionist. When people ask me like what instrument I play, I always have trouble
all about that
answering
bass. About that bass.
Well, yeah, I
That
play bass guitar, play drum set, but I also play like if you ever go to the see an orchestra play any of those percussion and instruments in the back,
Sure,
I can pretty
sure.
much play it. But anyway, I transferred. Actually, I didn't. Well, technically, I guess I did transfer. Now I'm at UAB in Birmingham, majoring. The official name of the major is music technology, but it's basically audio engineering with a music degree.
That's rad.
That's why they call it music technology, because it's more than just audio engineering. They want you to actually be a musician and have those skills and talents as well as doing like audio engineering.
Phenomenal. I'm so glad that's a thing. You know?
It's really great. So that's what I'm doing now. I actually graduate in about a month and a half. So
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that too, because I feel like if you in the real music world, and I work with at least a couple producers that are doing big things that I make gear for them and stuff. And I'm here to tell you, man, that like just knowing how to run a console doesn't give you a place in the music industry.
Indeed.
At all. If you don't know anything about music, then you're literally kind of just a hobbyist or a technician, and you're going to just wind up polishing like doorknobs. But if you've actually got some kind of a musical, just a knowledge at all, even if it's just a preference on like songwriting or something like that, you could actually earn a living in the music industry. But I'm totally on board with that. There's got to be a musical foundation. It's not just all knobs and programs and that kind of stuff. You know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's actually, I've seen it work as well, because like not only is that what they're teaching, but I can see like my professors, they really, really believe in it. Because like there's two main heads of the department. Both of them have like theories. Both of them have degrees in music theory.
Yeah.
Like that's not, they didn't start out with like the real head. He started out as a band director and then got into the technology through other means. And then they created this program. So yeah, you're right. I really do believe that having that background helps a lot.
That's phenomenal.
Because it's like speaking a language. If you're back at the house or running sound or recording somebody, and you don't know the lingo of your artist that you're recording,
Right.
it's like you can't even communicate. And I think that gets lost a lot.
I totally agree, man. That's amazing. Now, okay, God, I could talk to you about this for hours, but we don't have hours. Tell you what, let me hit you with another topic of discussion. You can chime in on this too. What do you feel? Just the how technological music has become, or let's say the craft of writing and recording music, it has become so incredibly technological, in the last decade. Of course, people have been saying that since like the 80s. Since the 60s, they've been saying that. When the first synthesizers came out and Bob Moog made all that stuff, and then they had all this stuff in the 80s, and then there was digital recording, and it started out with the ADAT, which was terrible, but we thought it was great. And then hard disk, great. Now everybody's recording on a computer, and you can do it, and there's data compression, and you have all these things. But where do you think it's going from here, based on some of the stuff you've seen?
Well, I think to answer that question, we have to think outside of just music, because there's so much, and when it comes to technology and like recording just in general, it's music, it's TV shows, it's movies, it's podcasts.
Yeah.
Everybody, and I think the main proponent that is pushing it forward, and that is kind of advancing the technology so quickly, is the readiness and the availability of it. Like everybody can do this. Like there's really not a need, unless you want your album or podcast or whatever to be like super like top notch, 100% pro grade audio, all that stuff. You can do that in the comfort of your home or rent out a space like the space we're in here, and it sounds great. And so I think you see kind of like this like a leveling out when you're talking about the equipment that we use and things like that. All this high-end gear is becoming more and more readily available to consumers.
Sure.
And I think that's going to be where it's going soon. There won't be a need for big, fancy, large studios, except for in very, very specific situations where you like either need the space or maybe it's just somebody just. I think. Well, let me backtrack a little bit.
Like it's like Rihanna. She's going to record in a pro studio.
Absolutely. And there's always going to be those people that just don't want to be bothered with the technology side. They've got that musical talent, and they just like, okay, let me just go to a studio and let somebody else handle all the technology stuff. Right. And those people will still, those kinds of people will still make, professional grade studios relevant. But I do see a big trend in DIY stuff. It's just like the website. There's a website called Fiverr, and it's basically a giant website where people freelance their abilities to people, and it's full of graphic designers, voiceover talents, music producers, podcast editors. It's basically one giant marketing website where individuals market themselves as their own entities and entrepreneurs and companies to perform these things in the comfort of their own home.
Interesting.
So yeah, so like because like my mother's in the real estate agency and she uses it every once in a while for like marketing and stuff because there's like marketing like brand management type stuff that you can rent on there. So I think just with the day and age of the internet, everything's going internet and electronic based now. So I think just the way that you can reach so many people without even leaving your home is going to play a big factor.
It's going to cast such a wide net with such ease. Okay, I agree with that too. Let me ask you kind of as sort of an addendum to that, like or like a kind of an add-on question. Once this net starts to spread out, let's say 5-10 years from now, when literally everyone's so interconnected, everybody's got the ability to do like a pro sounding record, a podcast, whatever, to reach millions of people with advertising, anything like that, to be instantly entertained. Like, if everybody has the same like abilities and technology, what do you think it's going to take to make people like stand out? Like, is it going to be, my fear with all that is everything's so diluted, that you're just never going to see the good stuff because there's just so much stuff coming down the pipe. What do you think it's going to take for people to really stand out? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but that's
it's like you're putting doors in a room. There's every guy that gets a laptop has a new door and a new door. Like,
needs to be a gimmick. I think something that sticks out to somebody.
There has to be. That's a tough question to ask because you're right. Like with everybody having access, how do people find you amongst a million others?
Sure.
And that's a really tough question.
Or how do you find your audience?
Exactly. And obviously you got to have the drive to do it. I think consistency is probably the number one key.
I love that answer.
But in addition to that, you got to be able to work. You got to be determined to work hard at your craft and make sure that your whatever you're putting out there is above and beyond what everybody else is doing. Because I feel like that plus word of mouth. Like once people see that your stuff is top notch, they're gonna want to share it. And then people share. I mean, like I said, I don't have the answer. I don't know if that's going to work or not. It remains to be seen. But I do think that I kind of lost my train of thought. But it's really, I think it's more along the lines of the consistency thing. Yeah. You've got to be able to make sure that your craft is consistent, not just on a timely basis, but on a quality basis as well.
Yeah.
Like the cream will always rise to the top kind of thing.
Well, I also think a lot of this equipment that we're using now that's super expensive in the next 5 or 10 years is going to be super cheap easily accessible off Amazon.
Yeah. We're kind of seeing that now, especially when you talk about YouTube, because YouTube is blowing up. It has been blowing up for years, and I don't see it ever stopping.
Yeah.
People, I think I heard there was some statistic that I heard a long time ago that says there's 300 hours worth of YouTube videos being uploaded to YouTube every minute.
Yeah.
And so, we have to compete with that. And so we have to figure out how. I don't think anybody has an answer for that or a definitive answer. There's probably more than one.
True.
I was listening to the Rooster Teeth podcast and they talked about this where someone was like, what if I wanted to watch every video on YouTube? And they said, someone said after 30 minutes of watching videos on YouTube, you would already be another 2 weeks behind. Every 30 minutes, you're another 2 weeks behind because people are just uploading
saturated.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the thing is with this podcast is, me and Spencer and Hunter will sit down and talk when we're not recording and be like, well, what can we do to reach, more of an audience?
Sure.
And I always say, I'm not worried about it until we hit over 100 episodes because most people look at podcasts nowadays. And if you don't have 100 more episodes, they don't want to listen
Well,
yet.
and it's
they want
kinda
to
like-
wait and see if you're going to be sticking with it.
This is the first time we've seen anything this diluted because of technology and all the advancements, just like Jason was saying. But it's not the first time humanity has seen a situation in which you have to compete. You know, like I remember back in the day, pre-internet explosion, pre-YouTube, pre-all that, when you were in bands and stuff, you had to compete with whoever was in your town and then in the region and then maybe in that part of the country and whoever knows. But like at some point you have to start by taking over your own backyard.
Yeah.
Like, so to speak. And if you can do that, then the word of mouth thing, like you said, kicks in. And I think, you know, and I hope this is true, but I think you can still shine as long as you focus on the quality of whatever you're doing and not worry about like how many of our videos are getting uploaded this hour and just like, well, how many of them are as good as my video?
Yeah.
And you just really, really shoot to kind of raise the bar. I think that's like Butch Walker kind of said. He said it'll separate he said the record business is screwed, but it'll separate the men from the boys, you know?
And I think like when I started doing the Twitch stuff a few weeks ago, which by the way, every Friday and Saturday, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m.
10 to 2, Twitch.
Twitch.tv/The Beacon House. But when I started doing that, I started getting some friends and things like that telling me like, do you think you're spreading yourself out too thin? And I don't think so, because I feel like as long as we keep it consistent, the more platforms we're on and the more platforms that we can show our faces and our name on, the better it is, because you have a better chance to grab, even if it's only 5 people. You know, like last night I got up to 5 viewers, and you know, I at first I was like, oh, that's not a lot, but then I started thinking, well, I mean, last week I only had 2, and you know, so as long as I'm
one of them
going,
was me.
Yeah, and I was like, as long as it's going up, I don't think it's bad. Even if it doesn't, like one week you go and do it and it doesn't go up, I think as long as you have your name on more platforms than the next guy, you're fine. You have
and there's something to be said for just being creative.
Yeah.
Even if you you cast and nobody responds, just if you did something, anything, there's something to be said for that. Like I think you should go, well, nobody listened last week, so I'm going to quit. Like keep doing it.
Yeah, you still made
consistency,
something.
like Jason said, consistency.
Yeah, Roman built
But
another.
you've been smart about how you did it too. I guess listening to the amount of things you do, I could understand someone asking if you're spreading too thin. But you do the Twitch stream 2 days a week. We meet weekly, and Party Chat is once a month.
Yeah.
That's not...
That, and I also want to start doing shorts. I want to start doing a vlog, but that stuff I want to wait until I have everything else down pat.
And those will be one and done too. Those will be consistent things to pursue, but they won't have like a set schedule. They'll be as the ideas come.
Yeah, and I'm actually taking like every month I'm taking all the Twitch stuff that I stream and I'm chopping up all the highlights and taking all the good bits out, and then I'm gonna like once a month hopefully post a highlight reel, a monthly highlight reel on YouTube.
Yeah. Also, man, I noticed you uploaded our bloopers video for the Christmas video.
Yep.
So if you guys haven't seen that, go on our YouTube page and check it out.
And I think this week sometime I'm going to upload the live acoustic you guys did at the live event.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Hunter and I played a couple songs, and see what you guys think. I think he sounds great. I think I sounded like trash.
You guys were perfect.
You sounded great, Spencer.
Jason, thank you so much for coming, dude. I appreciate it. It's so good to meet you here.
It's a pleasure meeting. Nice meeting you too.
Man,
so excited.
Come
we
back
finally got you down
anytime.
here.
Come anytime you're in town, man. Come hang out with
definitely
us and talk and
enjoyed it.
everything.
All right, guys. So I guess we're going to wrap this up. Hunter, do you feel like you're in danger? Because it smells like farts in here.
There's power in the blood of Christ. But I'm gonna fart to fight. I'm gonna poo to hit you in the snoot. Oh yeah, I'm gonna fart to fight.
I hate your Jesus song.
Oh my.